back inside the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show, 12:30. If only you could see what happens in the commercial breaks during this show. 12:33 on this Tuesday afternoon. Hope everybody enjoyed their 3-day weekend, their Memorial Day, and the official beginning of summer. Got to talk about the Dallas Mavericks because we are at least starting to get a somewhat clearer picture of what this is going to look like from a head coaching perspective as they go through their search. There are some odds that are out. Let's show you the VO2 with the names that are on this list, and I will give you some of the numbers that correspond. Sean Sweeney is right now the favorite to be the Mavs' next head coach. Of course, he is an assistant for the San Antonio Spurs, which does complicate things because they are going to be playing at least 2 more games, if not several more, if they win the Western Conference Final, and would muddy the waters relative to the Mavs' off-season progress. Sweeney at plus 140. Billy Donovan is the next likeliest according to the odds from betonline.ag at plus 350. Frank Vogel, the third betting choice. And then I would have thought, Jonah, and I imagine you may have also thought, that Nick Nurse, with his affiliation, his past working experience alongside Masai Ujiri, might have been the 4th likeliest from an odds perspective. He's 6th, and the 2 that slot above him I thought were rather interesting. Duke head coach John Shire and former Dallas Maverick and 2-time NBA MVP, and I had forgotten altogether about the fact that also former Nets head coach Steve Nash. They are both ahead of Nick Nurse from an odds perspective, according to Vegas. Tiago Splitter, Tom Thibodeau, and Mike Malone rounding out the odds. Mike Malone was just hired like a month and a half ago at North Carolina, so I don't think that's terribly realistic, but we'll see. Sweeney feels like the likeliest, and there's a reason why he's atop these odds, but there's a lot to still be handled in this space. They've got a lot of progress still to make.
Yeah, mind you, Nick Nurse is still the Sixers coach.
Right.
He's not been fired, so that would take some alluring.
Yes, but they also just moved on from the general manager. True,
they could have a new regime. And Tiago Splitter, interim head coach, I believe, for the Blazers. He's got the connection to Mike Schmitz, who's the Mavs' new GM, so that's potential. That's probably, we're trying to base it up. That's what these odds are. They're trying to piece these puzzle pieces, or put them all together. I keep coming back to Sean Sweeney, and there's a reason he's the odds-on favorite. He coached here for a handful of years under Jason Kidd. He was with Jason Kidd, I believe, in multiple stops, right? Nets and Bucks, and then in Dallas. He was part of the coaching staff when Mavs went to the finals, and he was the defensive specialist. He tried his best to get the best out of Luka Doncic, but he and Luka had, and as far as I'm aware, still have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And so he goes to San Antonio to become an assistant coach with the Spurs, and he leads up their entire defense. He's like basically their defensive coordinator. And then you look at the Spurs defense, and you're like, yeah, I want that.
Well, I mean,
and I go again, yes,
yeah.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the 7'4" elephant in the room there that kind of
address me.
Changes what you're able to do defensively.
We will never on this show say the phrase "elephant in the room" without Andrew leaning in.
Address me. We are addressing the elephant in the room. And
it will never happen.
I guess it's more of a giraffe. But Victor Wembanyama obviously changes what the Spurs do defensively. That said, the rest of their defense is still very strong.
Yeah.
They have active guards, active hands. They're cutting passing lanes. They're just so defensively sound, so fundamentally sound. And they're still doing a good job defensively against the Thunder team that are just baiting them at every shot. And we'll probably get into that in 10 minutes, but more. But all things considered, I love what I see from Sweeney. I just feel like he's a good fit coming back here. He still has some relationships in the building, current players that are on the roster like him. So, I mean, I think we might get our clues pretty soon. Like if we don't hear much on the Mavs coaching search front until the Spurs are eliminated, that might kind of lean to where they're headed.